endurance is a trait that many few people have. Not many people are willing to endure pain through a large scale to get to the reward at the end. You see people give up, quit when they start to endure large amounts of pain. But the people that endure through those things and don't give up and don't quit, those are the people that are extremely successful, that ones that have extreme mindsets that are unconquerable. They're the unbeatable mind. And I think that's what everybody should be striving for, is to be not only unconquerable physically, but unconquerable mentally. Because if you're unconquerable mentally, then you have no enemy. If you don't have any enemy on the inside, then you have no enemy on the outside. And I believe a lot of people in our day and age, especially in my generation, lack confidence. And to me, I've been doing these tests to myself recently. I've been doing the 300 rep squat test. This was the first one I've done. I've been doing these recently because I want to build my confidence and build the character and see if I notice anything different about me mentally as I go through these courses and go through these tests of pain and endurance and struggle. This is by far, I think this is going to be the hardest one, the 300 reps. I did this at 189 pounds, I believe. This is 185 pounds on the bar. And yeah, it was painful. It sucked. I had to endure. But I didn't give up. And the reward I felt afterwards was better. Just a positive feeling of I could conquer it. I think that was worth it just alone in itself. I mean, when was the last time that you went out and you accomplished a goal that you set for yourself and you have felt almost a state of bliss afterwards? I felt so excited and so relieved that I accomplished this goal that I've been dying to set out to achieve. And I felt like this burden was taken off my back that I said, I almost like I gave up all my worries in a second. Like I didn't have to worry about my future. I know I'm gonna make it after this. It was great. It was this great feeling. And I think I could describe it as closely as possible as to a feeling of accomplishment. Is that feeling that you get when you accomplish something great? I think that is one of the best things. Even though it's such a minuscule task, it's such a minuscule time period. This probably took about like an hour and a half of my life of just squats. But it was just so painful and it was so burdensome that it affected my mind state for weeks and weeks and weeks. And it's still affecting me to this day. I still have that confidence that I felt afterwards. And I'm really excited to be doing the Iron Marathon coming up. And I'm taking it to the next level. I saw everybody doing the 100 rep squat challenge. And I said, okay, you know what? I'm going to push myself past that. That's standard. That ain't alpha. All right? Shout out to Mike Rashid, by the way. I kind of thought of him like, wait, why can't I test myself like he does? Well, I got the idea from him, for the mental test at least. But this is an area of life that we should be testing ourselves a lot, because I don't believe we test ourselves ever in this area in life. Like, when was the last time you put yourself to something extremely physically demanding and actually came through and came out on top and saw the light at the end of the tunnel and made it to the actual light at the end of the tunnel? Not many people have. Like, there's this mountain by my house. It's called Mount Boney, and a lot of people climb it. Not a lot of people make it all the way up. I made it all the way up. I made it up there in the rain, actually, when it was pouring and no one was up there. And I've seen people turn around and they're 3/4 of the way there. They don't know how close they are. They don't know how close they are because they've never gotten to the top. And if you give up, you'll never know how close you are to the top. You might be right at the edge of doing something great. But if you stop right there, you stop short, man, that sucks, because you could have had it. You could have had it. And sometimes you're going to fail. But it's only giving up if you don't go back and try it again. I think one of my favorite sayings in life is that a man can only be beaten in two ways: if he gives up or he dies. And man, that is such a true saying. I mean, when is the last time that you saw someone that beat all the odds? Look, like, the thing is you're not always going to get it right the first time. You may get it right the second time, the third time, the fourth time, the fifth time, the sixth time. Heck, maybe even get it right the 100th time. Or maybe the 50th time, but it's going to take you a while. And you can't give up off of the first time and say, oh, it's not going to work. That's stupid. That is what you call, that is the mindset that builds unsuccessful people and mentally unstable people. I believe that if you have a concept of yourself and you see yourself as a vision and what you want to be and who you want to become, if you stay focused on that, then you'll always be a very positive mindset and you'll always be able to affect people in a great, significant way. I like to think of DJ Khaled. I know he's not like a very he's not extremely like a fitness personality or something, but the guy's such a positive guy. I mean, he doesn't allow anything to get to him. I mean, he stays focused, he stays on the grind, he stays working, and he affects so many people. I mean, a lot of people laugh at him. He brings a lot of joy to many people, but if you listen to the things he's saying stuff that's really true. I'm like, he's saying stuff like, oh, they don't want you to win. They don't want you to be happy. And it's true. People, oh man, I'm gonna tell you something right now. Jealousy is a curse. It's a gift and a curse. Because you can be jealous of somebody and it can motivate you to get off your feet and get it, or you can be jealous and you can let that thought consume you. And I think the main problem is when people see someone doing something great with their life. I think the main problem is they feel jealous is because they don't think they can achieve it. Like, you see people, it's just like, oh, I'll never get that. It's just like, says who? There's only 3 types of people in life. People that make it happen, people that watch it happen, and people that don't even know what the hell is going on. Choose one. All right? So everything in your life, take some ownership. If you don't like what's going on in your life right now, man up. Grow a pair. Do something to fix it. Maybe you're saying, oh, you don't know my story, or my life has been really hard. Stop. Cut with the excuses, man. I hate to say the same, but man, excuses are like buttholes. They all stink. They all stink. Everybody's got one and they all stink. They suck, man. Every excuse that you have, someone's made it before you and has had a reason to overcome it. So I don't want to hear that, oh, I didn't have the money to start. It's, oh, I don't have the time, or I just can't do it because I don't know how. Man, if you really want something in life, you get out there and make it happen. You find a way. If you don't, you'll find an excuse. That's the bottom line. And I think I see those people in life so often. It's just like, yeah, I want to do these things, but I got this instead. I want to do this, but I got this instead. Man, stop. Stop playing. Stop playing with yourself. You're lying to yourself. That's the only person you're lying to. You're convincing yourself that you can't do something before you even start. It's ridiculous. And honestly, I believe it's a huge effect on what society tells everybody. Like the way society contributes to people's mind and how they think. Like, people always like saying, oh, he's such a humble guy. Like, he's like, oh yeah, he's humble. You know, people, I don't even think people know what humble means. Like, he thinks very lowly of himself. Like, I know this guy, and he's the nicest guy I ever met in my entire life. Nicest guy ever. But he has such a low opinion of himself. And it makes me sad, honestly. He's just like, yeah, this guy has a far higher IQ than I do, that's for sure. I'm like, man, why would you talk about yourself like that? You make yourself look insecure. You make yourself look weak. And just because you look weak and you look insecure, that doesn't make you more relatable. It may make you more likable, that's for sure, because people are gonna be like, oh man, he doesn't think very highly of himself. Oh, he makes me feel better because he makes me feel like I'm better than he is. Congratulations, man, you played yourself. Quoting DJ Khaled right there. Boom. It sucks, man, because you see this mindset that's been taught to us since birth. It's this mindset, actually not since birth, but like ever since we hit toddler age. Like, they teach us that, like, oh, you should have dreams, but don't chase them. That's dumb. No. Yeah, you shouldn't want to strive for doing that because you can't make it. Look how many people failed in the past. You shouldn't be afraid of failure. Hey, if you failed, at least you tried. And do you know what you can do? If you fail, here's the great news. You can get up and do it again. That's it. You can only fail in 2 ways if you give up. Actually, 1 way. If you give up, that's the only way you can fail. That's the only way. Or you die, but that's not really failure. That's just life. That's just what happens at the end of life. And if you do give up, how much is your life going to matter? You're going to be regretting every single day that you gave up after that. I guarantee you. People that quit on something they loved are the ones that you see working the job as an accountant and hate their life and are miserable. And I say, man, I wish I could have been a football player like I always wanted to be as a kid. But I listened to everybody else around me tell me that I couldn't do it. No, do you know why you couldn't do it? It's because you didn't put the work in. You didn't wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning before all your teammates and start working before them. That's why you couldn't do it. I love this saying. This is probably my favorite saying that I've been wanting to say this for a while. Is no man is smarter or better than the next. It's the one that works hardest that achieves success. And that's period. Like, if you hear like the stories of like guys like 50 Cent, I mean, it's like this guy's like, you think he was like a good rapper when he first started? Yeah, he might have had some like natural talent, but he wasn't good at what he was doing. It takes time to develop those skills. 50 Cent, he's someone that I look up to. He started in 1997 rapping, and he didn't have a major record deal promoting or marketing his product until 2003. And that's when he finally popped off, was in 2003. That's 6 years. I mean, how many people give up before 6 years or before that amount of time? Because if you give up, you'll never know if you make it or not. You'll never know. Because you didn't see it through. That's like saying, it's like, oh, I'm not sure if I really, really want this. I'm not going to see it through all the way, though. So I'll just give up before. It's ridiculous, man. It's depressing, honestly, when I see people think like that. I hate seeing people with like a negative outlook on life, or just a negative attitude about themselves, or what they think, or they think they can't do something. I hate the word I can't, man. I hate that word. The only phrase that I like that in is that if I can't do it, it can't be done. That's the only phrase that I will accept the words I can't. That's the only way. Because you have to have that kind of mindset about yourself. You have to be positive about yourself. And at this point, you can see that my phone was running out of battery. Actually, not out of battery. My phone was running out of space. I'm filming on an iPhone. Yeah, I don't have the resources right now to be putting into a fancy camera. I would love to get one, and I'll get one as soon as possible. Just give me about like four months, and I'll get it. Don't worry, I got you guys. But I'm here to inspire people, and that's more important to me. I'm not going to let anything get in the way. Maybe it's the obstacles that you have, and yeah, maybe I don't have the best camera or the best equipment. And I know I'm going on a kind of a tangent right now from what we were talking about before, but it's an excuse that I'm not going to accept for myself. I'm not going to let that reason deter me from doing that. So maybe I don't have the best camera. Okay, so what? Maybe I got something else that someone else doesn't have. Maybe I can inspire people I inspire people more than this person, or I motivate them to do better things in their life. Maybe if my goal in one life is I can just encourage one person to get up off their butt and do something and create something great out of their life, then my job is done. I'll die happy. That'll be the happiest day of my life. Or I think that even the happier day of my life is when someone comes up to me and is going to say, hey man, because of you I didn't give up. I think when that happens, I'll probably cry. I'll be 100% honest. I'll cry when that happens. Because that's going to be the day I make it. The day I make it is not going to be when I make my first $1 million. The day I make it is not going to be when I make my first $10 million, $50 million, $100 million. The day I make it is when I'm going to have a profound impact on people. I want to say thank you to everyone for watching this video. I know this may have been a longer video, or maybe not that entertaining, but I hope you guys really take what I say to heart, and I really care about people. And I'll see you guys later. Peace out, fam. All right, bye.